Good afternoon, welcome back to my channel. This is Louise from Louise's Lifestyle. Today we're going to have a go at making cottage pie with the ingredients I've got here. I've got some beef mince, or kimma as they say in South Asia. I've got my herbs, got my Worcester sauce, got my gravy granules, celery, carrot, onion, garlic, bit of ginger, and I'm going to use these potatoes today. I'm not making mashed potatoes, I'm doing it a different way. I want to see how quickly I can make it using these tinned potatoes. So let's get to it. Okay, so I've got my onions, I've got my garlic browning there, I've got my ginger, and I'm using this non-stick pan so that I don't have to use a lot of oil. I've used about a tablespoon of olive oil in here, or you could use a fry light, as long as you've got a pan that doesn't, stick. And I've added some salt there. I'll just let these onions a little bit brown, not too brown, and then I'm going to add the mince. So I've got 150 grams of, I've got 1.5 kgs of minced beef, or minced kimma, and then I will add that to this and brown that off. So I've had the meat in the pan. It's about 8 minutes now, and slowly turning to a brownish colour. So the aim is all this pink disappears and it becomes brown. And then I will add I will chop this celery, dice it up, and this carrot. You can add more carrot, I've only got the one in the fridge, so that's all I'm using. And also I've added a teaspoon of garam masala. This garam masala doesn't have aniseed in, and I prefer that one to the aniseed one. The aniseed tends to be very strong smelling, overpowering, to be honest with you, so I prefer this. So garam masala is made up of different spices: nutmeg, cardamom, cinnamon, pepper, cloves, all ground up into a powder. I always like to add them to any either lamb or beef that I'm cooking. I don't tend to add it to chicken that much, it's more for the red meats. So once I've got this meat browned off and I've added those, I'll come back. So I've just added a sprinkling of oregano, a sprinkling of thyme, a couple of splashes of Worcester sauce, some pepper. I've got my carrots and my celery diced and cooking away there. And I've also added 3 tablespoons of gravy granules. If you're not familiar with gravy granules, if you've never cooked using gravy granules before and you want to know what's in the ingredients, there are variations. I just get this cheap brand. Basically it's potato starch, palm oil, salt, wheat flour, calcium carbonate, iron, niacin, thiamine, plain caramel, that gives it the brown colour, soya, wheat, barley, malt extract, onion powder. So yeah, there's no meat products in there if you were worried about that. It's a thickening agent to make gravy basically. So I've already added that in there, and I'll add a little bit of water now. I've got my kettle boiled. So all those spices, or herbs I should say, I want them to be absorbed into the meat, the mince. Break up any lumpy bits that you've got there. So you want to have a gravy, it shouldn't be I might add a touch more water, let it slowly cook so that the carrots and the celery are properly cooked through. Let's add a little bit more water. And you can add a little bit, I could add a little bit more thickener to it. And just stir that in. Now you could spice it up if you wanted to, but you know, I use a lot of chilies and spices during the week when I do curries, so I you know what, I like to have a change. So there's no chilies going in this, but you know, if it's your preference, you can add chilies if you wanted to and make it a little bit of a spicy dish, but I like to keep it kind of traditional. And the reason they call this cottage pie as opposed to shepherd's pie, because you're using beef mince and not lamb or sheep as a, you know, so if you think about it, shepherd is a person that herds sheep, he doesn't herd cattle. So shepherd's pie is lamb mince and cottage pie is beef mince. There, you've learned something today. So I'll let that cook away and then I'll get the potatoes sorted. So I've sliced the potatoes and laid them like this. I'm going to do another layer. I've still got some more potatoes and put them on top, but in between put a little bit of salt, sprinkle that over, and also put a little bit more thyme, sprinkled a little bit of that on it. If you wanted to, you could spray with a little bit of oil if you wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try and reduce the oil content. So I'll put another layer of potatoes to go and then I'll pop it in the oven. So I've just popped it in the oven, just using the grill setting. That's all I wanted to cook, is the potatoes on top, and when it's done I'll show you the end result. So it's just taking it out of the oven. You see it's nicely browned. I could put it in for a little bit longer, but that's brown enough for me. I put it in 160 degrees centigrade. My oven's electric, but I use the grill. Don't really need to use the full oven, just want to brown the top because the meat, the mince or the keema is already cooked. So we're not cooking the whole thing, we're just browning. The potatoes were already cooked as well. They just wanted a little bit of a browning to them. So all in all, it took me about, I'm just looking at the clock now, it's taken me 25 minutes in total. That's not bad. If you're rushing home from work and you fancy the shepherd's pie but you don't want to go to the bother of peeling and boiling mashed potatoes. I know you can buy frozen mashed potato, but it's got a weird taste, you know, when you put it with shepherd's pie. It's not the same as using proper potatoes. So these potatoes are very handy to have. It cost me 50p. I've used 3 tins of this. Let's see what the weight is. So drained weight 345 grams times 3, and sliced them, put them over the top. This casserole dish is approximately, I think, a 3-pint casserole, and I use 1.5 kgs of mince, and that should be enough to feed a family of, say, 6 easily. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, please press the thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do, and share with your friends. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.